What's up, Dragon Ballers? My name is Jeff. This is a brand new channel on YouTube. I hope to bring y'all deck profiles as well as gameplay videos. I used to be super heavily invested into the Dragon Ball Super card game a little while ago. I played in tournaments, all kind of stuff like that. The only reason I stopped was because a lot of people at the locals that I was going to had moved off, and when they moved off, the main players, it just kind of meant the end of the game for that particular shop. But thankfully, people at my current locals have picked up the game and are really enjoying it. So the more and more people that are able to play, the better. So we've got a good number of players now, and hopefully it will continue to grow as more people come along. Anyway, let's get started. We are going to go with Dr. Hedo for our first deck profile. It's an amazing leader. I really like it. It says auto when this card attacks, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 Red Ribbon Army card to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So I really like these leaders who are able to search. In a way, I think it's better than drawing a card on attack. So searching is always better. It says awaken when your life is at 4 left and you have 1 or more each of red Gamma 1 SH and Gamma 2 SH cards in play. Draw 2 cards and add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 life left. So that skill in itself is pretty awesome. So you can net 4 cards when you awaken, potentially. So I really like it. He's really good. Let's move over to the back side. We have Dr. Hedo Admiration for Heroes. It says permanent during your turn, Gamma 1 SH and Gamma 2 SH cards, both red and with energy cost of 2, gain Barrier, which is amazing in itself because Barrier has saved my tail in a bunch of games. It says auto once per turn, if you discard 1 Red Ribbon Army card from your hand, when your red Gamma 2 SH attacks, draw 2 cards. So there, right there, you get to filter your hand and net 1 card. So you draw 2, but you net 1 because you had to discard 1. Or activate main once per turn. Choose up to 1 red Gamma 1 SH card with an energy cost of 3 or less and switch it to active mode. So this is a really good skill, and we're going to talk about that more as we get into the deck of how this deck works if you don't know. So let's get into it. So first of all, we run 4 of the 1-drop Dr. Hedo, a Heroic Brain. This card says permanent if your leader is a red Ribbon Army card and you have a red Gamma 1 SH or Gamma 2 SH in play. This card gains plus 1000 power, and this card can attack battle cards in active mode. So this is a really good skill. The power boost is not that great usually, but it can get rid of hateful cards towards your deck, like the 1-drop Black Mass Saiyan that says take a life and it gets plus 10k power. That card can also make you have to discard cards when you use your activate main ability. Since they are not keyword abilities that bring out your battle cards, you'll have to discard 2 every time. So that effect's very good. So keeping that in mind, let's move on. We're running 3 of the Dr. Hedo are Heroism and Aesthetics. So this card, I'm only running 3 because it's really an as needed effect. It says auto limit 1, pay 1 red if your leader is a red Dr. Hedo and you have a red Z extra card in your battle area. When this card is used in a combo from your hand, play up to 1 Gamma 1 SH or Gamma 2 SH card, both red with a power of 15k or less and with an energy cost less than or equal to your energy from your deck, then shuffle your deck. So this card can be very good if you are in a pinch and you need to get one of your Gammas out of the deck. Of course, this is if your opponent is just swinging away at your Gammas or they're getting rid of them with skills. So this card could help you in a pinch and possibly help close out the game. So we're only running 3 of that. This next card, I'm debating on whether I want to put 1 more in here, but for right now I'm running 2 Magenta Path to Witch Fulfillment. It says auto when this card is played, draw a card, so it's a decent cantrip. Auto limit 1 When this card is used in a combo, choose up to one of your red Ribbon Army cards and it gains double strike for the battle. So this card is very, very good. It is basically a watered down Champa, which if you played any amount of time, you probably remember the Champa being played before it got banned. So being able to give any of your battle cards double strike, or even your leader double strike, it is just pretty amazing. So that's for that. I'm also running 2 Cell Max Return of Despair. I was running this at 3, but I decided to bump it down to 2 because, I don't know, it just felt like I was seeing the card too much of when I didn't need to see it. So anyway, it has blocker. And auto, when this card attacks or activates a blocker skill, switch it to active mode. And this card gains minus 15k power for the turn at the end of battle. So, okay, it basically becomes a 10k, but it still has the blocker skill. So if you block somebody, if you block something, and it restands, it can block again, and it's probably going to die. However, there are other things in this deck that you can do to prevent it from dying, and I will show you those as we move on. So now on to our main bread and butter of the deck, the Gammas. So I'm playing 4 of the Gamma 1, a new creation by Dr. Hedo, or a new hero created by Dr. Hedo. It has Deflect, which is very good, so your opponent can't counterplay it. And also, you know, Dr. Hedo gives it barrier only on your turn. It says auto limit 1. When this card attacks, use up to 1 red Ribbon Army card with 5k combo power from your drop in a combo with its skills negated for the turn. So this is very good for when it restands, and I'll explain more of that after I read the second part of this effect. It says auto once per turn. When this card is switched to active mode by a Dr. Hedo SH card skill, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and it and this card get from minus 5k power for the turn. So this is very good to help drain your opponent's battle cards. Of course, if they got a 5k on the field, it automatically dies. So that first skill, the combo from the drop, that helps when that takes effect, because this also gets minus 5k power. So that can hurt you as well. It can help you if the situation's right. But we'll explain that more in depth later on as we continue going through this awesome deck that I really enjoy. So we're on 4 Gamma 2, a new hero created by Dr. Hedo. This card in itself is awesome as well. This is the one, of course, when it attacks with the awakened side of the leader skill, you drop a Red Ribbon Army card and draw 2. It says if you have a red Gamma 1 card in play, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1 red. So essentially it costs 1 to bring out as long as you have a Gamma 1 on the field. It says auto limit 1. When your red Gamma 1 card is switched to active mode by a Dr. Hedo SH card skill, switch this card to active mode. So basically on the field like this. Alright, so you've just attacked with both. So you activate Dr. Hedo's skill to restand this, and then this automatically restands because of that. They give you 2 more attacks just from these 2. So now that we've covered that, we're going to go into our 3-drop Gamma. So we're playing 4 Gamma 1 Hero Pride. This card is really good. I really like the card. It says auto limit 1. When this card attacks, use up to 1 of your red Ribbon Army cards in your with 5k combo in your drop and combo with its skill negated for the turn. And it says auto once per turn. When this card is switched to active mode by a Dr. Hedo SH card skill, draw 1 card. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and it and this card get minus 10k power for the turn. So therefore you are again draining one of your opponent's battle cards, but you're also draining yourself, which is fine, but you also get to draw one card with this one, so it helps with card advantage. And then for the 5-drop gammas, we are running 4 of Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 Hero's Mission. So it says, Auto, when this card is played, choose up to one of your red Ribbon Army cards, and it gets plus 5k power for the turn. So now that's very good because this card can be used both offensively and defensively as well. And then it says, Auto, once per turn, when your Gamma 1 SH card is switched to active mode by a Dr. Hedo SH card skill, switch this card to active mode. So just like the Gamma 2, this card can switch itself to active mode when your Gamma 1 restands as well. And it says, activate battle, limit 1, pay 1 red. If your leader is red, so that's any red leader, not just Dr. Hedo, so this card can be used in any red deck. So if your leader is red and you or your opponent have 3 or more energy, notice it says you or your opponent have 3 or more energy, draw 1 card, play this card from your hand, choose up to one of your red cards, and it gets plus 10k power for the battle. So like I said, if you're on defense and your opponent's attacking you, I don't know, say 30k to your 15k, okay, you can drop this card from your hand for 1, and it'll give your leader plus 15k for that battle, and it'll give it an extra 5k for the turn. So this card's very good. I can't imagine running this deck without these cards. So our last 2 gammas that we're playing is going to be Gamma 2 Suicide Attack Departure. It's a 5-drop. It has critical and auto once per turn. When your red Gamma 1 SH card is switched to active mode by a Dr. Hedo SH card skill, switch this card to active mode, and this card gains the following ability or skill for the turn. Auto, at the end of a battle in which this card attacked, place this card in its owner's drop area. Additionally, if your opponent's life is at 3 or more, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So right off the bat, that's a really good skill. You know, if your opponent's at 4 life, you attack with this card, they let it go through, that's a crit. And then also you can go ahead and sack it and deal another damage to your opponent. And it's pretty crazy how that works. So then it has activate main, limit 1 for 2 red energy. Your opponent, if your opponent has 3 or more energy and you have a red Gamma 1 SH card in play, play this card from your hand. So you can cheat it out for 2, which is really, really good for this card. I'm only running 2 because I feel like 3 was a little much, a little clunky. So now we're moving on to our non-Red Ribbon Army cards and non-Gamma cards. So here I'm playing 2 SS3 Goku one-hit wonder. Okay, auto, when your opponent's battle card power is decreased, if SS3 Goku one-hit wonder isn't in play in your battle area, you may play this card from your hand. So essentially you restand one of your gammas and drain your opponent's battle card. You can then play this card from your hand for absolutely free. It is nuts. And then activate battle, pay him 1 red energy, send this card from your drop area to your warp, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 5k power for the turn. So even after it leaves the battle area, it's still a threat to your opponent because you can easily take out one of their little 5k drops. So that's it for that. And now time for one of my most favorite cards in this deck. Trunks Deluge of Power. Guys, this card is probably one of the best cards I've seen since the old days. It says auto, if your battle card in battle is red, when you combo with this card, it gets plus 5k combo power for the duration of the turn. Okay, you swing with, I don't know, Goku. You swing with Goku. You combo with this, giving it plus 10k. A free 10k. That's like an extra super combo, except you don't draw. Still really good. I really like this card. I think it is coming clutch for me a lot of times when I've been playing this deck. So now moving on, we have Topo, Righteous Aid. So now this card says counterattack. Choose one other card in your hand and place it in the drop area. Then negate the attack and play this card. So it's permanent. If it's your opponent's turn, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. Auto, if it is your opponent's turn, when you play this card for the duration of the turn, your opponent can't attack unless they choose 2 cards from their hand and place them in their drop area each time. This card's amazing. So your opponent attacks you, say you're playing a mirror match. Your opponent attacks you with their leader. Then you automatically play it on this card, and they've got a full board. Guess what? That restanding, it's not going to matter unless they dump their hand to be able to attack you, to try to kill you. So that's why I run Topo. It's a very good card. I only run 2 of them because 3 and 4 is way too clunky. And now onto my other favorite card in this deck. We're running 3 SS Son Gohan Defeating the Demon. It has unique double strike blocker. Counterplay, if your leader is red, play this card. For each Z energy in the cost of Z battle cards in your battle area and leader area, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. Permanent, for each card in your Z energy, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. So this card can essentially cost 0 to bring out. Very easy card to bring out in this deck, especially. It says, Auto, when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 20k power for this turn. So, basically, okay, your opponent plays, I don't know, your opponent plays a 15k powerhouse. Okay, you play this card for free, essentially, and you neg that battle card by 20k. So it's automatically gone. So amazing card to run. If you don't have these, I do recommend picking them up. They are a little pricey, but it's not too bad considering some of the other cards that are out there. So now for our secret rare, we are running SSB Vegeta Unbridled Power. Guys, I am so glad this thing got reprinted in the anniversary box, because I know I could not afford it, and I'm sure a lot of you guys couldn't either. We are excited to have this card in this deck. So this card is dual attack, sparking 25. Now the sparking 25 is only to make the dual attack active. It has nothing to do with anything else in the skill. So it has ultimate, deflect, and triple strike. And it says activate main for 4 red energy. Play this card from your hand. And you may have one of your opponent's leader cards get minus 5k power for the turn. Okay, so this is an amazing card. It's like a reverse Senzu beam for your opponent. It says activate main. Remove this card from the game. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards and unison cards, ignoring barrier. Place them in the owner's drop area. Then place 1 card from your opponent's life in the drop area. Okay, this is a card to play if your opponent has 2 or less life and you just want to try to end the game, because it has 40k power. For one, it has 40k power and triple strike. So they're going to have to guard this if they don't want to take 3 damage by 1 card. So that card's amazing. I'm very glad I run this now. I couldn't see myself not running it. So now for the super combo. We play 4 Raditz Saiyan Youth. So this super combo is amazing. I think every color now has a super combo like this where it gets plus 10k power and you discard 1 card to draw 2. I love that skill. I love it so much. Couldn't live without the super combo in this deck for sure. We're running 2 Testing the Oppositions. I love these cards because it negates the attack and it gives you a token that is also a blocker for the turn. I have considered bumping it up to 3 or 4, but I think 2 is exactly where I need to be because I don't know. I just like it at 2. But it says counterattack if your leader is mono red. negate the attack, then play one Cyberman token. This token gains blocker for the turn. So essentially it negates an attack and then creates a blocker for you to possibly stop another attack. It says permanent. If your life is at 5 or less, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand by adding a card from your life to your hand instead of paying its energy cost. Okay, if you're at 5 life and you do this, your super combos are now online, and you have a negate attack, and you have a blocker on the field. So really, there's no downside to this card whatsoever. Next, we're playing 2 Beerus Balls. Costing 1, it says counterplay. If your leader card is red and your life is at 4 or less, if the battle card being played has 15k power or less, it is placed in its owner's drop area instead of being played. And if it's your opponent's turn, choose up to one of your leader cards and get plus 5k power for the duration of the turn. This card's pretty awesome. Gives you a Sensor Being-esque effect. The last 2 cards for the main deck, we're playing 2 After Image Techniques. I absolutely love this card. It says counterattack. If your leader card is red, choose up to one of your cards and it gets plus 40k power for the duration of the battle. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 10k power for the duration of the battle. So that card's super amazing. Not only does it allow you to give one of your cards in general 40k power, but it also lets you neg an opponent's card by 10k. It doesn't ignore barrier, but that's okay. I mean, it's still an amazing card. But with Sparking 5, you can add a life to your hand instead of paying an energy cost. So anyway, that's it for the main deck. Now let's go into the Z deck. So for the Z deck, we are starting off with Dr. Hedo's Laboratory. It says Z Stack 1, Red Cell Max SH with an energy cost of 3. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Cell Max out, which is pretty much the same thing because when you're bringing this out, you're bringing this out. So they're a pair. It says activate main. Dr. Hedo's Laboratory says activate main, limit 1. If your leader is a red Ribbon Army card, play up to 1 red Gamma 1 SH card with an energy cost of less than or equal to your energy from your hand in rest mode. And it says activate main for 1 red. If you have 4 more energy, you can discard 1 red magenta card from your hand. Play up to 1 red Cell Max SH with an energy cost of 3 from under this card and remove this card from the game. So this card is very, very good. I only mainly use it for its first effect. I barely ever get the Cell Max from under this card. But when I do, the Cell Max has turned out to be really good. So Cell Max is a 3-drop, has barrier and blocker. It says when this card attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and it gets minus 15k power for the turn. Auto once per turn. If it is your turn, when one of your card's skills reduces a card's power to 0 or less, switch this card to active mode. So that effect is very, very good. You constantly neg your opponent's stuff with this deck. And so potentially this card could get 2 or 3 attacks per turn if you do it right. So now moving on, we run 3 of the Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 Arrival of Heroes. This card is one of the bread and butters of the deck as well. It has unique, so you can only have 1 on the battlefield. It says permanent. If you have 1 or more each of Red Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 SH in play, reduce the energy costs in your Z deck of this card by 1 red and reduce its Z energy cost by 1. So it's cost 1/1 basically. If you have 3 or more energy, your Red Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 SH cards get plus 5k power during your turn. And that's a permanent. So with this card, your individual Gamma 1s and Gamma 2s get plus 5k. Also, your cards on them with them on there together get 5k as well. So he will buff himself as well because all it needs is the individual names. And if you see here, let's focus that. If you see here at the top, it has Gamma 1 SH and Gamma 2 SH. So it's not separated by an and or anything like that. It just has both card names. All right, so this right here is very good. It's one of the cards that can help you. Oh, I'm sorry. I totally forgot to tell you the rest of the skill. It says when your red Gamma 1 SH card, or auto limit 1, when your red Gamma 1 SH card is switched to active mode by a Dr. Hedo SH card skill, switch this card to active mode and this card gains double strike for the turn. So this card is absolutely dumb for this deck. It can restand and give itself double strike. It is crazy. Alright, for the final card, wrapping this video up, we are going to show you Rush Attack SSB Vegeta. Okay, this is the last two cards I'm playing in my Z deck. This card is amazing in itself. It has deflect, so it can't be affected by counterplay skills. It says auto, when this card attacks, use up to one mono red card with 5k combo power from your drop in a combo with its skills negated for the turn. Additionally, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards or unison cards and it gets minus 15k power for the turn. So right there, when it attacks, it is busted in itself. It says activate Bane once per turn. If you have 4 or more Z energy, switch this card to active mode and it gets plus 10k power, double strike, and barrier for the turn. So that right there is pretty daggum amazing. I absolutely love this card for what it does. Anyway, if you have any thoughts or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Make sure to comment, subscribe to this channel, like this video. Like I said, I am a new channel trying to get my feet wet.